Hi guys. So today I want to talk about a topic that, well, we're still talking about being you, right? We built on this over the last week or so, where we're talking about this idea of getting in sync with ourselves, paying attention to ourselves, listening to our body, listening to our awareness. But this has brought up something in my group and with a couple of my clients in this challenge, and it's this concept that I call the hard truth about being you. A lot of times when it comes to codependency, we have a fantasy about what it means to be ourselves and what the result of that will be. And typically, this fantasy includes this idea that we're not going to be rejected. We're going to be celebrated. We're going to be included and involved. And that's true. Being ourselves, being genuinely who we are, will create that result of being involved, being included, being wanted. But it will not prevent rejection. It will not prevent failure. It will not prevent difficulty. Instead, it's going to challenge us to face that, to take that on. Now, that's kind of the meat, the gritty about doing this kind of work. Tuning into ourselves requires us to become more aware of what works for us and what doesn't work for us. That means we are innately becoming someone that's going to fit in certain places and not fit in others. And that's where rejection shows up. And rejection shows up as that filter, that capability of, or that action of defining where we belong and where other people belong with us. Is kind of empowering, really, when we think about rejection being a means to connecting us with people that fit with us, rather than as a statement about our value. Now, if you've watched my videos before, if you've worked with me, you've heard that a lot. Where rejection isn't a statement about value, it's not a judgment against who we are, it is a signal of compatibility. So, while we get into that, like tomorrow's holiday with Valentine's and things like that, we tend to look at ourselves and do some evaluation about our own viability, our own worth, our own lovability, that kind of thing. And if we're going to truly be ourselves, we've got to give up that judgment. We've got to receive who we are, stand with who we are, and then let people choose us, let people reject us, and allow ourselves to choose and reject people. Okay? So that is one of the hard truths about being you. You're going to get rejected. People aren't going to like you for who you are. Some people won't. A lot of people will. Some people won't. The other rub with this being the hard truth about you is you're going to realize that you've been making choices about your life that you really don't want to be making. Instead, you're like, hey, I want to do this thing. And doing that thing requires disappointing other people. That's okay. That's kind of the name of the game. When we get out there and we do our thing, we're doing what matters to us, we will innately disappoint people. That tells us we're on the path for us. That tells us we're choosing a path that we are creating and that is important to us. So allow disappointment to be a milestone on that journey to your awareness. Okay? So that's all I wanted to share today. Not a whole lot, just something to think about while you get into your own development, your own healing, especially when you're dealing with codependency. And also, if you want to get really deep on mastering who you are, into the beingness of you, I invite you to join my upcoming mastermind in the brilliance of you called Being. We're going to take 8 weeks. We're going to dive deep into the nature of who we are, how to tap into the energy that makes us us, and then how to use that to make choices and develop relationships in our lives that we want to have. Okay, so I will post the link in the comments if you want to subscribe to that, and actually you have to apply to it. We'll do a consult and we'll talk about how, if it fits you, and then we'll get you signed up. And also, when you're ready to heal from codependency, when you're ready to make that deep dive to find and be yourself and then break out of the codependent paradigm, those habits and those things that really irritate, and get into the confidence that you naturally are, join Codependence to Confidence, and you will see the results for yourself that over 415 people have reported as they've gone through that very process called the heal process to change their shame to love and discover who they are. So I'll have those links here in a moment. Thank you guys for showing up. I'll be back here with Q&A. And then if you guys have questions, is there things you'd like me to talk about, post them in the comments. I'll be glad to talk about those things and give you guys insights to that. So have a great day. Have a happy Valentine's Day tomorrow, guys, and we'll talk soon.